Welcome, guys, to another edition of the Sndpodcast show on the Schmuck Sports Network. Steven here, Dan over there.
Hey, guys. How's everybody doing?
Hope you all enjoyed the song tonight. It is called Violence in Season by Division 1.1 off their album With a Vengeance, which you can get on cdbaby.com.
Yes. We got a fun-packed show tonight. We got the Super Bowl preview. We're trying not to bore you guys because I'm sure you've been watching NFL Network and ESPN and all the other outlets, but we're going to do our preview. We're going to talk about the concussion issue that President Obama and Pollard stir up during Super Bowl week. We're also going to talk about gays in sports, which should be an interesting topic. And
Niner player of this week.
It's stupid. We're also going to talk about the Islanders, Rangers, and Devils, and we're going to talk about the Knicks and Nets.
Pack show. Just a reminder, check out the website, schmucksports.com. Great articles. I know I'm in the middle of writing one. Keith put up some recent stuff. They have Super Bowl previews all over the place.
Joe had it was actually Keith. I'm sorry, Joe. It was Keith with the prop bet article, which was pretty clever. I definitely enjoyed that.
So check out the website. Also check out the music. Like we said, Division 1.1 With a Vengeance, cdbaby.com. It should be up on iTunes any day. Just having a couple little technical difficulties with that. So enjoy the show tonight, guys.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Sndpodcast. Dan here, Steve's over there. You just listened to Division 1.1 season Violence of the Season. You can check their CD cdbaby.com. Now we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. Your Baltimore Ravens are going to be playing against the San Francisco 49ers in New Orleans at 6:30 kickoff on CBS. Where
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern, fair enough.
For our West Coast viewers.
Oh, yes. Anyway, yes, Jim Nance, Phil Sims is going to cover the game.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. A lot more than just the Hall-Bar game. But I must say, they got me thinking the last 2 weeks that what do their parents do? Like, during the whole Super Bowl, it definitely is going to be the worst Super Bowl for them in a rooting interest. Like, you're going to feel happy for one son because they reached the ultimate goal. But on the other hand, the other son's going to be the ultimate low because obviously their goal was to win the Super Bowl as well. It's going to be a lot of fake happiness after the game for which Hallberg loses. And it's just going to be awkward, but I'm going to be looking forward to seeing that momentous...
What's the over-under on how many times they show their parents?
Well, the last year, they played on Thanksgiving, and they left... they went downstairs in the tunnel to watch the rest of the game because they were just tired of the TVs showing them every other play. So maybe they might
let's
not
see.
even
That was
be
Thanksgiving.
showing.
This is the Super Bowl, so it's got to be like 10, right? 10 in the first half?
10 in the first half, but I don't know. I think they're going to try to stay away as possible. I know that's impossible, but if they did that for a Thanksgiving game on NFL Network when half the people at that time didn't even have the channel, can only imagine what they're going to do to not be spotlighted for the biggest event in the whole America, in the whole country.
World.
World too, but you know what I mean. Definitely in America though. What's your over or under? How many times the TV catches Ray Lewis cry? Real or fake, of course. But obviously, I think it's going to be real. But how many times does he cry?
3.
So pregame, they're going to obviously have him mic'd. It's Ray Lewis. So it's going to be pregame when he does his little crazy dance because you know he's going to be coming out of the tunnel with that. That's one of my lasting images of that awful Super Bowl when the Ravens beat the Giants is when he did that, and I'm like, oh, the Giants are going to be in trouble. And sure enough, they were. Anyway, so
Pre-game anthem.
Pre-game anthem.
That's one.
All right.
If they're winning while they're taking a knee, he'll cry.
He'll cry.
And then he'll go on the field and he'll cry.
Yeah. And then post-game. So 4. I got 4. Right?
Yeah, basically.
4. 4 cries.
Okay, better question. If they're winning and taking a knee, are they going to put him out there?
Oh, God, I hope not.
So we can do the stupid dance again? The one guy I would like to see the Ravens have win a Super Bowl will definitely be Ed Reed.
Yeah, I have 2 guys on the Ravens that I definitely want to see.
Ray.
Ray Rice. Yeah, I've seen Ray Rice pretty much his collegiate career at Rutgers. And then I've always watched him with the Ravens, obviously. So I've always liked Ray Rice. He's my favorite NFL player who doesn't wear a giant uniform. So I'm happy with that. Congrats, Ray. But Ed Reed, everybody for some reason forgets that Ed Reed wasn't on the 2000 team. He was still in Miami winning a college championship.
Well, if you look at Ed Reed, he kind of looks like a bum.
Yeah, he looks like
an old bum.
Like Deion Sanders said, he called him Django.
Wow.
And Rich Eisman is about to comment. And he's like, oh, nope, not going to make a comment on that. Good call, Rich. Anyway, yeah, those are the 2 guys. I'm kind of wacko for Flacco. Fantasy Focus plug right there. Matthew Berry would always make a joke that he's wacko for Flacco. He's been on a fire. It is a big payday for him. If he shows up and plays, he's going to get so much more money than he already is going to be getting for this playoff run from the Baltimore Ravens. I was listening to the Rich Eisen podcast this week, and they had Ed Reed. They had an Ed Reed interview, and they were keep on asking him, "Is this going to be the last game?" He is from New Orleans, so it's a homecoming from Ed Reed. The way it sounded like he might retire, but he might not. So don't be shocked if the Ravens do win and Ed Reed might retire too. But
he is a free agent.
I don't see him playing anyplace else. So
basically, you're saying stop the Ed Reed to New England.
Yeah, that's
the reason that those talks happen is because he's come out and said that he likes Belichick. He respects Belichick. So people, of course, media. Oh my God, he said something.
Well, honestly, the only thing I could see why the media thinks that is during the Football Live a couple of seasons ago, the NFL Films took their cameras behind the scenes for the whole entire season of Bill Belichick. Pretty much what they did for Ray Lewis this year, which was a very good piece. That is one of my favorite shows on NFL Network. Did have a weekly show called Football Life. Pretty good if you never saw it. Anyway, they had Bill Belichick, and the week they were playing the Ravens. There was just a complete love fest with Ed Reed and Belichick. So I could see why, but I do not see Ed Reed playing for any other team. It's not going to happen. So if they win, I think he's going to hang it up. I just had that feel because of the tone of him. He's like, yeah, maybe he was being coy about it, but I just have that sneaky suspicion if they win, he's going to be carried off.
Well, didn't he say a couple weeks ago he'll be back?
Well, yeah, he's playing games. He's definitely playing games because he's mulling it over, but he of course he wants to play, but he doesn't want to. If you listen to the Rich Eisen podcast this week when he's interviewing, you can have that feel. Did you listen yet this week?
I'm up to Ed Reed.
Okay. So I don't want to really ruin it for you then, but that's the way he sounds.
Okay.
So,
if you really want to think about best way to look at it, my perspective for the Super Bowl game, there's really nobody in particular on the Niners that I'm rooting for to win.
yeah. It's different. It's a tale of two different teams. Like with the Ravens, they were battle tested, and they're winning. Winning is now. They need to win now. As for the Niners, they're up and coming, and if they're winning, like it's gonna be great. Maybe another dynasty and another playoff here and there with Kaepernick, but it is all about now for Baltimore Ravens because Ray Lewis is gone. Pretty much, their defense is gonna be half from what it is just because Ray Lewis is retiring. They'll still have Suggs. He's getting older, and by Dejo, he's good too. Pollard, Carr's going to be back next year, coming off an injury. They're still solid and Lodi Nada, but it's not. It's going to be different without.
There's no Ray Lewis.
Yeah,
that's all you really got to see it as.
All I hope for is a close game. Kaepernick's going to do that. The Niners D is going to shut them down. They didn't look good against the Falcons offense, so they have something to prove this week with Winter and the other safety just getting burnt by Julio Jones. But then again, what safety doesn't get burnt by those two guys? But it's going to be a good game.
It's going to come down to the trenches, like always.
Yeah, and both teams have good offense and defensive lines, so I'm excited to see that. And they both running games are solid with Frank Gore and the read option with LaMichael James and Kaepernick, and then with the Ravens, it's the Brave Rice Show and Bryce, who's been a pleasant surprise coming out of Temple. I must say, Price, yeah, yes, coming out of the shadows pretty much and carrying a big load, pretty much like a Ahmad Bradshaw. Pretty much like a Ahmad Bradshaw during the 07 Giant run. He came out of nowhere. It was a good running team, but out of nowhere they just took care of business, and it was an unsung hero who's pretty tough to be taken down.
Yeah, it's two completely different teams if you really want to think about it on offense.
Oh yeah, completely.
And the Niners are in that offense that the NFL's slowly evolving into.
Yeah, but it could be stopped.
It could be. The right defensive scheme can stop it.
I don't know. I think the conventional quarterback's going to take control of this game.
The advantage the Ravens defense have is they did play Washington this year.
Yes.
And
they laid out, and I'm sorry. They originally was the team that laid out RG3.
Yeah, but that was just a freak play.
Oh, of course it was a freak play, but they hit him hard for most of the game. And if it wasn't for a fluky drive by Cousins, they probably would have ended up winning that game.
They did struggle, though, against RG3. And they did say this week, Ed Reed said, the difference between this game and that game is the field.
Yeah.
Because they played in Washington, and
yes, that's
known for the worst field. Or
yeah,
one of the worst fields.
They really need to get field turf there.
Well, they are trying to get a new building in general. But that's not for tonight.
Anyway, Steve's going with the Ravens. I'm going to be different and go with the Niners just because.
There's just, I don't know, there's that feel that the Niners are now going to be, because you got to think the Giants will always be one of those teams that are there, quote unquote. And I just feel like that the Giants and Niners are going to play each other for the next couple of years and just develop that rivalry from the 80s again.
That's going to be fun. It's with the NFC, there's a lot of teams that you could say that for. The Packers, the Saints coming back next year with Peyton. It's just going to be fun year next. I'm excited for next year already, even though we have a whole training camp and everything like that.
Training camps,
drafts and everything like that. But I'll just to be different, I'm going to go with the Niners since Steve's going with the Ravens. But I hope Ed Reed gets his title.
I just think it's that Ravens, past what? This is 5 years in a row?
Yeah.
You're basically
They've
right
been to 4 AFC championship games and been the bridesmaid a bunch of times. So it's their time, but I'm going to be the different one and then just say the Niners are going to pull it off.
I think that it's just the Ravens' time. Ray Lewis is just going to be one of those guys where next year, first game, NBC, Thursday night in Baltimore.
Yeah.
He'll be the surprise guest like Strahan was. I'm very excited for the game, though. I'm very excited to see the defenses and how they adjust throughout the game. Because
it really is 2 parts of a game because the halftime isn't like any other game. With Beyonce doing her whole act, like a couple songs. So that's going to have our halftime show. Normal, pretty much unnormal. So whoever is going to prepare well for that is going to take care of business.
The advantage the Ravens have is guys have been there.
Yeah, a few of them. Like Bolden and not Red Reed, Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis. They've been there. They know what to do.
They seem to be more business like the Ravens.
Yeah. The Niners are a type of team that just look like they're going to go out and just be like, okay, whatever. So,
that's the Super Bowl.
While we're on football.
I have 2 controversial topics.
There.
Rough week. First, I'm going to talk about the concussions, and Steve could chime in. Pretty much, we're like a Mike and Mike, per se. Like, I played football in high school, I know, big deal. But Steve never played football. So,
wasn't allowed, I'm Jewish.
Exactly. So, me and him might have different views on this. This week, President Obama came out, and after someone asked him a question, would you let your son, if you had a son, obviously, even if his daughter, that's what bothers me. Girls can play football. It's been proven on SportsCenter and Icebox on the Little Giants. But besides that,
that's, by the way, they're comparing the Super Bowl this week to that.
Yeah.
Super Bowl. And
anyway, all right, this is a serious topic. Would you let your son play football? And President Obama said no. That says a lot about where this country's heading and how people are perceiving football. To be honest with you, the strides from when I played football is completely different. People actually care about injuries. I could tell you, I'm sure I played with a concussion or 2. And I didn't say anything. I didn't obviously know it was a concussion. Obviously, I wasn't going to say anything because the coaches have to act hard all the time, and you're a wimp, blah, blah, blah. So there's definitely advances to the games and the coaches, staff, and the training staff being more knowledgeable. That was at high school. So if I had a kid, if I ever have a son or a daughter who happens to want to play football, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes. It's up to the person. I'm not going to force him to play football, but I recommend it. It builds character and everything. With football not in my life, it would definitely be missing something. It'd teach me order and everything like that. So of course I would want my son to play football. It's stupid. It's not stupid, but people need to understand that they're trying to practice. They're practicing better tackling.
What they're doing now is...
kids are starting to play football younger. So they're starting to learn the game at a younger age and respect the game more. So hopefully that teaches the kids how to tackle more, and when they want to play, that they will respect the game, per se.
The way they're doing it now is the younger you are, it's no longer, quote-unquote, pee-wee football.
Yeah, it's flag football.
It's flag football until I think you're double digits.
And honestly, I like that because it teaches the kids the game of football. And if the kid is really serious about the game of football, they're going to want to learn how to tackle. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be taking the right steps, and they're trying to teach coaching, and the NFL and college games are obviously teaching high school and middle school and Pee Wee coaches how to teach tackling better. And there's clinics and everything like that. So I think Roger Goodell and everybody else is doing a pretty decent job. It's just a scare because of players dying of concussions, like Junior Seau, to bring to attention. Very sad death of his.
Well, Rodney Harrison, former Patriot and Charger, came out and said he is scared. He's petrified, basically, about what's going to happen to him in the next 5-10 years because of football.
Well, that's the thing.
I mean,
like with players in that age, they obviously cared about their body, but they didn't care. They just would run through walls, and if I was hurt, screw it. I don't care. I'm not going to tell anybody because I want that extra $1,000,000 or this and that. That's where you're starting to learn. Like, some players are starting to lessen up on the hits. Like, for example, Victor Cruz a bunch of times got destroyed. Thank God he lightened up, and he would have gotten murdered. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And people are like, oh, you got to make that catch? Oh, no. Victor Cruz would have had a concussion a couple times this year if he...
I'm shocked they didn't have one at all this year.
And honestly, we might not even know.
That's true. Well, they did announce they're in discussions. They're going to have neurosurgeon specialists on the sideline that aren't involved with the team, and you will have a different guy every week. Like,
once I think you got to get the injuries out of the players' hands.
And you know what? As the future comes along, there will be new technology and new materials, and eventually somebody's going to create a material that will go in the helmets, that will make the helmets so that they're sturdier.
Would you let your son play football?
If he wants to play, I'm going to let him play.
There's no reason why you shouldn't have the right to try to play. Honestly,
if you want to play, go play.
What I've learned is it's the plays, it's not the clean play that players get hurt on. It's the random plays that something bad, like it wasn't planned like that.
Look at RG3.
The harder,
RG3's original injury. He was running, he got tackled, and his knee just happened to snap. And then even, how many times have you seen the ACL injuries where the guy just happens to step?
Yeah. More times than not, the clean pops, he got him, he laid him out. Players pop up right away. Oh, yeah. Right away. It's that occasional borderline just missing the strike zone hits that get players concussed and everything like that.
It's like the most random plays a lot of times.
But here's another thing. Like the hit on Ridley 2 weeks ago that kind of stirred the situation. That hit was clean. It was just a good slobber knocker hit.
Right.
And it would have happened to anybody. And it's unfortunate he got a concussion, but that's what happens. You're playing football. You know the consequences. You sign everybody knows.
What's your name's on that dotted line?
Yeah, everybody.
You're all in.
You sign your life away. It could get hurt, permanently injured, but that's why we love the game of football. So I would let my kid play football without a doubt. If he wanted to play, we would play. I would let him play in a heartbeat. But unlike what my dad didn't do, I would teach him I would teach him listen, it's a very dangerous sport. If you don't like it, I understand, but it's a very fun game if you learn and respect the game. That's the problem. Players need to learn and respect the game, and the injuries and all those injuries will eventually they'll never end. Sad to say, but they will eventually find a cure of hopefully depression and all that stuff, because players have learned and improved that history. Maybe they'll take some classes. That'll be interesting.
The problem is that they do have, when you go up from college to the pros.
Yeah, but they
have a rookie seminar.
Yes,
which teaches you and a lot of the players. One thing that they need to include in that, before every season, no matter what level, pee-wee, college, high school, pros, each year before the season, before the draft, every team should have to have all their players obligated to watch a reminder video of the risks.
Yeah.
And if you want out, there could be some sort of clause in the contracts that let them out at that point.
Absolutely.
They should add that into the NFL. Give them a clause that allows them out if need be.
And it sucks that we're learning through the hard way for the players that paved the way for this generation of players. The players we are growing up, we're the last generation of players who are effect of because they weren't students of the game of the injury per se, that they're hurting themselves, and hopefully they survive. A few of them haven't, and it's really sad. And you hear if when you listen to boomers, it's very scary. And he even admits that a lot of his teammates and a lot of players, and even for himself, with amnesia, maybe with concussions. I'm sure he says he doesn't know how many concussions he's had. He said it a number of times on Boomer and Carton, and that's just scary to hear.
The other controversy this week, Chris Culliver, a really no-name player off the 49ers, on Media Day on Tuesday, came out and said that he would not accept an openly gay player in the locker room.
Well, he's paying for it dearly for apologizing every other second.
Of course, you give him an extra $100 to apologize at this point, because it's terrible for the PR. First of all, he should have thought of what city he plays in.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Number one city known for gay people.
Yeah. He's not going to be a 49er next year. It's been known. Garrison Hurst would make a gay comment, and he got cut and fined.
I'm going to give you my view. Honestly, I accept them completely. They're not different between you and I.
No.
I have a couple cousins. I know a bunch of people. They're not different.
It's just people being ignorant and not understanding. Like you and me, for example, I have a bunch of family members who are gay. They're open about it. I've been on both sides of bigotry and hate, including myself. I've unfortunately cracked gay jokes to my brother, and not unfortunately, but my brother is openly gay. So as a kid growing up, it was tough growing up with him, hearing kids say jokes about him being gay, oh, you're a fag, blah, blah, blah. And me, unfortunately, were part of it every now and then when me and him would have stupid fights. But, he's just a normal human being just like us. He's just wired differently. And it's not by choice. It really isn't by choice. You think he wants to be like...
He doesn't want to have that.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be, quote-unquote, different from the norm. Like, who would want that? So, it's just an ignorant, stupid football player who doesn't really know anything.
First off, the town he plays in.
Yeah,
he should have been cut already. He should have been cut, to be honest.
Stupid.
I'll tell you this much: if they do win, he won't be at the parade.
Oh,
you can't have him at the parade.
No,
it won't end up. Apologetic or not, you can't have him at the parade.
No, there's obviously gay sports fans, and honestly, so what if you had a gay teammate? Honestly, it's not like he's Jeremy Shockey got in trouble with this when he was first with the Giants on Howard Stern. It's not like he's gonna it's not like he has cooties and if he sees a penis in like the locker room, he's gonna get a quote unquote boner and like try to kiss you on the team. What is this? Remember the Titans with Sunshine? Completely joke. I'm half joking, but it's something like you're really messed up of a human being to think that. It's just like he's not gonna do that. I'm sure there's some sick individuals that may think that and maybe wired differently. Of course, but majority of the time, they're not going to do that. They're normal human beings. Honestly, I'm sure there's a bunch of gay NFL players. You just wouldn't know about it because they're scared to come out of the closet.
A lot of teams have those things in the locker room. Like, I'll never forget the Strahan book. He said, Eli Manning's first practice. Sean O'Hara cuts the bottom of his pants, has his balls hanging out. So when Eli put his hand underneath him, his balls are... A gay guy wasn't...
Boys will be boys,
right.
Of course, but there's some point of a line. There should be some respect code, per se. Like, so what if he, quote-unquote, there's a gay teammate?
You know what? 90% of the time, you wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't. Because the majority of the time, the player is scared to bring it up.
Right, because he's afraid of how his teammates are going to see him. But honestly, they shouldn't be.
No. It's very delicate situation because a lot of people are very, quote-unquote, religious.
Correct.
Quote-unquote, religious. I'm sure Carver is very religious. I could almost guarantee he was very religious. If he's not very religious, he's very ignorant. Yeah.
They should be more... Honestly, if you heard that they're being more open about it, I wouldn't mind. What's the difference?
But I've never read in the Bible. I'm not even going to get involved with it. It's a lot bigger.
We won't even go into the religious.
It's just a shame that an ass clown's going to make a stupid comment about that. And it has nothing to do. Like, I saw the article you sent me. What was the question that triggered him?
I didn't. I was out. I didn't really read the article. I saw the headline and I said, we got to talk about it. That's all I saw.
And it was definitely some Media Day stupid comment. A Media Day stupid interview. And he bite the bullet. And he's paying for it dearly. And he's an idiot.
And to make it worse, you know what show he did it on?
What show?
Artie Lang.
Oh.
Artie Lang asked him if he would accept him.
Oh, Jesus. Howard Stern and Artie Lang kind of thing strikes again. You know what?
But you know what?
You can't be an idiot.
You got to be smart, especially on Media Day. Especially when you're the last two teams in a league. Everything you say will be...
Yes.
Everything you say will be scrutinized.
Oh. But it's just weird. Like, I know you're in the building, billion hours, blah, blah, blah. But you're in San Francisco. Ironically, my brother came out in San Francisco.
They're known.
Yeah, it's
I remember
just
in 8th grade I went to San Francisco.
Capital in the world. Like,
after 8th grade I went to San Francisco. And we were taking a tour. Bus tour of San Francisco. They brought us to... There was this one section of San Francisco that's all gay. Rainbow flags everywhere. They didn't make a difference to me. They're still regular people.
Yeah.
Just because they dress a little different.
They're just wired differently.
Exactly. So I got the Ravens. Dan's got the Niners. Super Bowl weekend. Enjoy the game. I know, I will.
Definitely will. Enjoy the food. Don't drink and drive, please.
Yes, please be smart. Also, if you don't like football and you listen to this for the rest of the fall, just remember all restaurants are going to be empty.
Yeah.
Except for sports bars. Don't go to the sports bar.
Given.
But enjoy the game, everybody. And welcome back, guys, to the Sndpodcast show on the Schmuck Sports Network. That was Division 1.1 with Violence in Season. Now we're going to talk some hockey. Local hockey, the Rangers, slowly getting hot. Like I told you guys last week, relax. It was early. Henrik's picking up in his game. The whole team's starting to play better. Callahan did get hurt the other day.
That was unfortunate, but they did beat the Flyers, which was a big game.
But he'll be fine. He'll be back in 2 weeks.
They're currently losing 1-0 going into the third. We're taping Thursday night, and they're playing the Penguins. So, wonder to see how they're picking up in the third period.
Division games are going to be important this year.
Well, obviously, since there's no West Coast games, it's only strictly East Coast games for the three local teams, obviously. So, the Islanders are playing well.
Yes, they're playing the Devils right now in New Jersey. Tavares is starting to get hot.
He has 2 goals so far going to the third period.
The Devils still have not lost in regulation.
All I gotta say is the Devils are the Devils. It's the same old Devils formula.
Boring Devils.
But it works for them, so.
And you know what? They're playing well. I don't know how long they're going to keep this up because eventually the missing of Parise is going to come back and haunt them, I think.
The goals, yeah.
Not just the goals. He was just the leadership, the all-around play out of him was just always incredible. The Islanders are playing well. Couple losses in the middle. Couple of tough losses this week, but they're still playing well. They're fighting. They're actually in the top 3, I think, in the penalty kill this year. They've only given up 1 power play goal.
That's been the best. That's been the best by far.
They're playing extremely aggressive. I love watching them play right now. Granted, it's only 6 games and change into the season, but the way they're playing, they're just all around playing well. Grabner looks like he's back from 2 years ago.
Like you called the other show.
It's everything's slowly starting to gel. There are a couple teams that are still undefeated. I think it's the Sharks haven't lost, and the
Blackhawks. They lost last night.
Oh yes, that's right. They did lose last night. But it was only a matter of time till teams lost. I'm slowly starting to think that Boston might actually be a team to beat in the East.
Yeah, Boston's been hot.
The only problem with them is their goaltending. They have 0. I don't think Tuukka Rask is a primetime guy. The East, I think, honestly, I was watching the Islander-Jets game on Sunday, and the Jets are a team to watch. They're in a division that has 0 goaltending. The Capitals don't have a top goalie. I mean, they have a top quote-unquote prospect goalie. But really all the Capitals do is score goals. If you play defense against them, you could beat them. Tampa's really the best team in that division.
Well, thing is with that division is once the Capitals get going.
Yeah, but all you got to do is play defense against them.
Yeah.
I think that the Jets have the best all-around team in that division.
But the traveling is going to hurt them.
The traveling's going to hurt them. The other team that can win that division, who actually won the division last year, is the Florida Panthers. Another team you got to look out for. Love watching the Florida Panthers. Good young team. Got a lot of leadership veterans on them as well. Jose Theodore is the goalie. If he stays healthy and they keep playing well, they can end up making a run. They went 7 games last year in the first round against the Devils. They could have won that series. They lost in overtime, I think it was, in Game 7.
They just lost to a more experienced team and Marty Brodeur in the playoffs. That's essentially what happened.
It's just a matter of time in that division that one team's going to grab a goalie off the trade market. We'll get into goaltending a little later with the hockey. My friend Jamie gave us a nice little topic to debate about. Actually, you know what? We're going to talk about it now because I got a little heated about it yesterday and I'm ready to talk about it. Apparently, there was a little heat of an argument on Twitter about players always putting all the not players, fans always putting all the blame on the goaltender for every game.
Oh yeah.
It's always the goalie's fault, no matter what. Rick DiPietro played last Friday night in Boston.
They played pretty well.
The Islanders could have won that game, and honestly, it was not Rick DiPietro's fault for losing that game. He actually played very well, and the first couple of goals, we had defensemen out of position, and they also had just made some nice plays that beat us. Honestly, the debate is Nabokov or DiPietro. Nabokov, of course, Nabokov is going to be the guy. But DiPietro is the perfect backup goalie for this team. They have 2 guys, both under the age of 20, or one of them's 21, I think, playing in the minor leagues. They're not ready to come sit on a bench and do absolutely nothing this season. If the Islanders are going to win, it's going to be because of Nabokov this year. Nabokov at the end of the year, I believe, is a free agent. Yes. So either one of 2 things will happen. The Islanders are going to go to the playoffs, and Nabokov is going to be the goalie, or the Islanders are going to fall out of contention, and the trade line is going to come around, and Nabokov's going to go to a team that's going to be contending. Nabokov's an older guy. He deserves to go to a team, even like the Capitals, to be honestly, that is a team that can go to the playoffs.
Can we get Ovechkin for him?
No.
Obviously, I was completely joking.
I wouldn't want him anyway.
Yeah, okay.
He's your definition of lazy Russian.
Yeah, I know, but anyway, he wouldn't want to come to Long Island anyway.
Well, you got to realize contracts like his are no longer going to Long Island; they're now going to Brooklyn.
Oh yes, Brooklyn.
So really, there is no debate on who should be the goalie. They're playing it right, but DiPietro, fans need to realize he actually played well, and if he stays healthy, he's going to play well.
Right.
He's not a terrible goalie. He's a little above average goaltender.
Can I put the average Islander fan, not the super diehard Islander fan like you and the other person who had that? Who had that?
Jamie.
Jamie. Hi, Jamie. Sorry. My perspective of things is with Rick DiPietro, he's a lot of talent, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy for the last 4 years. He has to first prove that he's able to play X, Y, and Z games. Granted, he's not getting the minutes like he should, I guess, to see that, but he doesn't deserve it because every time it would be one knee injury, a hip injury, then he starts a fight and he gets a concussion.
Well, that's why 48 games are so important because you got to realize Nabokov will probably play 40.
Yeah.
So DiPietro will play 8. And if he succeeds in those 8 games, what's so bad about it? The worst case is that he plays 15 games this year, which I can see because a lot of condensed schedules, a lot of weeks where you're playing 4 games, so you want to.
This year is going to be huge with backup goalies.
So, And honestly, to play once every 3 weeks
is not going to be good. He's going to be rusty.
No, it'll be fine. I actually like the idea of him playing once every 2 weeks, even 3 weeks. There are other issues on the team. He's the lowest of problems for the team. His issue is the contract he's under.
That's what it really comes down to. People are very bitter with the contract. And he's the first pick overall 13 years ago, and it's just frustrating.
Honestly, a lot of the guys in the organization said that when DiPietro was first drafted, he was a young hothead.
Yeah.
I'm number one. I'm the best. All these people are saying it. And yeah, he was really good first couple years that he played.
And he played on the Olympics, and he earned it. But he got the injury bug so bad. So bad.
And it happened. And you know what? When you signed him to that contract, you said,
that was
okay,
a kiss
great.
of death.
But you didn't expect the injuries. Who knew that was going to happen?
Why do you sign a goalie, first of all, to a 15-year contract? Just stupid.
Well, that was when the organization wasn't going in the right direction, and they were looking to win now. Now they're looking to win down the line. DiPietro would honestly make the perfect backup goalie for the next couple of years. I honestly would not want them to buy him out because, A, there's a cap floor.
Yeah.
And his contract helps us get there because not a lot of people want to come play here. Also, he's barely making any money.
How much money is he making?
Well, I'm going to look that up right now.
I know it's not bad.
I want to say it's like 2.5.
It's like, when you think of 15-year contract, it was actually not an awful deal. It was just the amount of years that were given to him. It was just crazy.
He's making 4.5 a year.
Because it's crazy. When he got that 15-year contract, he was at the peak of his game. And he was a hothead then. He would skate out of the crease, which he normally does. He would slide, and he already had a couple of concussions to that point. And it was just a kiss of death for both parties when he signed the 15-year contract. I'm not faulting him to sign the 15-year contract. Of course he wants job security for the next 15 years. I would. But the Islanders management, once again, is shitty as hell and make dumb moves. So the whole handling of this, of course, it's going to be poorly done.
It won't be about his skill and his talent because it is there, but the key is going to be, the argument will always be DiPietro's contract and health. I think that if he stays healthy this year and he has a good year, people are going to say, maybe he can still play. Will he be a 40-game goalie again?
He can't be.
He'll always be a 15 to 20, and that's a perfect backup goalie. 15-20 in an 82-game season. That's what I'm thinking. He can't
start anymore because of the amount of knee injuries on both knees.
The Islanders have a bright future at goaltender. Kevin Poulin and Andres Nielsen, it's a bright future. And honestly, if one of them gets called up for the season, let's say next year, and starts, he'll be a good backup goalie again. There's no reason to buy him out. You have a quote unquote backup goalie for life. Teammates have been saying nothing but positive things about him. He's no longer a hothead. He's realizing that he's an older guy now, and that he is always hurt. So he knows that he just needs to sit back and relax. He'll get his playing time. And honestly, he could have won that game last week. The Islanders could have won that game. They came out flat. It was the first of a back-to-back. It was the second night of a back-to-back. He'll probably play second night or first nights of back-to-backs a couple times this year.
Probably.
But like I said, he'll play 12 games max this season because you got to give him the backup nights off. It's there's no argument that Nabokov's the goalie, but basically what I'm saying, just you shouldn't always blame the games on the goaltenders. It's not always their fault. There are games where it is their fault.
100%.
But there are games where players don't play up to their abilities. Defenders get out of spots. You're going to lose games where it'll be one goal where one defenseman's not in the area. Automatically, it'll be the goalie's
Of course.
fault.
People, the casual fans are always going to pick a blame on the goalie. It's just natural. It's the position that's blocking the goal net. But the majority of the time, it's the goalie's in position, but it's the defenseman is getting out of position, and the offense makes a sexy move more times than not. And the goalie can't stop it half the time because he's not that quick per se.
The problem is that fans are expecting goalies to make every save. I mean, that's what they get paid to do, but you're not going to shut a team out. You're not going to have 48 shutouts in a season.
Like with the Rangers, it's everything about Lundqvist. It's, Lundqvist made like 50 saves, and he stayed on his head. How many times watching Ranger games, you watch the Ranger game, the Rangers are getting outplayed, out-hustled. Well, hustled, they're always hustling. You can't say that. But being outplayed, and Henrik's on his head every single night, and he gets one fluky goal, and the Rangers don't score. It goes both ways. It just depends what team you watch on a nightly basis.
The problem is that a lot of people watched the Devils growing up because they were always on, and Marty Brodeur made every save and every move, everything basically. It comes down to the rest of the team. It's not the goalie. And as for the DPH argument, I get it. He's hurt. He's got a bad contract. But besides that, he's actually a good player. And he'll be a perfect backup. There's no reason to bring up Poulin or Nielsen to come sit on the bench and not play. In Bridgeport, each guy plays. Every other game, the other guy's in. Unless the other guy had a great game.
But that also stuns their growth a bit.
I'd rather them play than sit on the bench and do nothing.
No, I know. But I would rather whoever the better player is heat up, because you're not going to do that in the NHL.
The only way one of them's going to come up here is if Nabokov is hurt or traded.
I'm not talking about this year. I'm just talking about it in general.
Oh, next year Poulin will be the starter. I'm calling it right now. Poulin's the opening day starter next year. If he doesn't end the season as it, then he'll be the opening day starter next year.
That'd be nice. Because Patrick Waugh, he was his junior's coach, and he said he was amazing. So if Patrick Waugh says that, you have to be some sort of special.
He played well. He's played in a couple games the past couple years, just had a couple of freak injuries. 2 years ago, he was playing very well. And it was during a warm-up where he went from one side of the crease and then went to go to the other side to face shots, and he just ended up getting his skate caught in the crease, in a little hitch in the crease, ended up dislocating his kneecap.
Ouch.
So
that happens, though.
Like we said before in the football, freak injuries. Yeah. You never know when they're going to happen. But hockey is back. It's finally getting back into that flow of that feel that it's no longer preseason training camp.
Yeah, it's in full motion. Like last week when I went to the Ranger game, it was slow and it was fun. Obviously, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the same. Oh yeah, let's go type of like hockey game. It was just a nice little diet soda per se because we started to take care of business.
Hockey is back. Let's go Islanders.
We are the New York Knicks. 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 Say go. It's a Knicks rally, a great finale. Another three, another dunk or finale. You, it's our troops, man, they don't miss. We are New York, we are the New York Knicks. Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go.
And we're back on the S&D podcast show on the Schmuck Sports Network. We're going to talk a little basketball now.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little basketball. It's been a quiet week. Knicks played good against the Magic last night. They Melo, congratulations to Melo, the first Knick since Dick McGuire, scoring over 20 points for longer than 20 games. Melo beat it with 30. So congratulations to Melo on that. They just dominated them, the usual. Stats finally getting in his groove, which is great to see. He's pretty much similar to Rick DiPietro, per se. So he's getting his minutes, but sparingly because of his history on his knees and everything like that.
But he's playing well enough.
Yes, he scored 14 points in 20 minutes with 4 rebounds, which is good for a stat. He finally looked like he was healthy. We just got to get Shumpert going, and the Knicks are going to be fine. They're playing very crappy teams, per se, compared to the Knicks the next few games. So the Knicks got to take care of business and have the kill instinct and just dominate them.
Win the games you're supposed to win.
Yes, they just got to take care of those teams that they're supposed to, look good doing it, and then just play until the All-Star break, and then it's a crapshoot.
I heard this question the other morning on Boomer and Carden. Carden asked Boomer this, and I thought of it to ask you. Do you think in a playoff series the Knicks can beat Chicago or Miami without Stoudemire averaging a double-double?
No. Chicago is Rose playing.
Yes. Healthy, back to 100% playoffs.
I say yes. We need stat.
Okay.
Double.
And what about Miami?
Yes. Of course.
The problem with Miami, with playing Miami, is that stat hurts you so badly on the defensive end.
Yeah.
But he needs to be like.
But the thing with stat is, which I'm liking what Woodson's doing, is he's coming in for Chandler. For the most part, and then they gel each other in at the second time Stoudemire comes into the game.
Later in the game.
Yeah.
It just hurts them. Like the other day, there was just guys going around him. I was watching.
Yeah,
I think
he
it was the
doesn't
Hawks.
have that lateral movement anymore with the amount of knee injuries he's had the last few years. It's pretty much his whole career. But as long as Stat is able to hit the outside jumper and drive to the baseline and get some easy buckets, the dark horse is Tyson Chandler. I was driving my girlfriend home after we got back from the Knick game last night, and granted, Tyson Chandler never takes an outside shot, but it has to say something how efficient he is up close, because he was very efficient again last night. He probably missed one shot last night of those dunks and layups.
10 for 11. 10 for 11 from the field. 21 points.
He, for the most part, in the first half, he led the Knicks in scoring.
Mm-hmm.
So they just got to get everybody going, and it has
Everybody's
got to
be healthy.
Yeah, it has to be a team effort.
The best thing for the Knicks is the return of Raymond Felton.
Yeah, that was huge. That a caller called in last night also with how Felton helps out Chandler's game, because Felton's more of a driver and driving to the hoop opposed
Takes
to Jason
the guy
Kidd.
away from him.
And
Also, it helps
exactly.
Jason Kidd. Kidd could play less minutes. You can give
Exactly.
Kidd, like last night, they gave
Yes.
Kidd the night off because
yeah.
of his back, which was good. Also, Kidd doesn't have to control anything.
Yeah.
Yes, 10 years ago when he was in net, he could do everything. Jason Kidd was arguably one of the best
He's
point
just
guards we
here
ever
trying to
watched.
win a ring, and the Knicks gave him a shot.
He did win one a couple years ago.
No, win another one.
But I think the fact that he could just sit at the 3-point line, because he's still a great shooter. One thing he still is, he's still a great shooter.
If you leave him open, yes.
But he's not a guy who you can give the ball to and can run.
He's not
pick
driving
and
to the
rolls.
hole. He's not driving to the hole anymore. That's why Felton is great for guys like Tyson Chandler and everything like that. The dark horse, the two dark horses, which everybody should know about the Knicks succeeding in the playoffs, is all about Schmuck and J.R. Smith. With Schmuck, I'm not worried with Schmuck. He just has to get healthy and get to the form he was last year. He's, other than Tyson, is our best defensive player without a question. We get him playing good, and we're good with that. The other person is J.R. Smith. Which J.R. Smith you're going to get any given night? You can have the J.R. Smith that scores 20 points in 5 minutes, or the 2 for 19 clanker of a game. So J.R. Smith's going to be the dark horse for the Knicks to make a deep run in the playoffs. Because you know you're going to... This year, Melo's different. He's not a me player as he's been in the past. You can just tell. And then Amari just was willing to do whatever it takes to win, because you know how dramatic it would have been if it was like last year or previous years when Stoudemire says there's no shot of him being on the bench. They are finally becoming a team.
He's accepting it.
Yeah, and that's great to see that the Knicks are finally a team.
Like we said before with DiPietro, they're accepting their roles. They're realizing they're not...
Like 2 years ago, well, obviously not 2 years ago, because he was the reason why Melo came to the Knicks. But last year, they weren't a team. They weren't a team yet. Melo was upset that Lynn got all the Linsanity things, quote unquote. Stats upset that he's the third option now because Lynn and Melo are the guys per se. It was just a frustrating year for Amari because of his brother and all the injuries. And this year they're an actual team. You can tell with the whole Knicks tape and everything like that. So it's great. It really is great to see all about it. So that's pretty much the Knicks. The Knicks just got to take care of business the next few weeks before the All-Star game. Two Knicks made the All-Star game. Congrats to Tyson.
Speaking of All-Star game, congratulations to Brook Lopez.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Well deserved. He should have originally made the team.
Yeah.
Granted, he made it because Rondo tore his ACL. Which
unfortunate for an NBA fan, but for the Knicks standpoint...
By Boston.
So.
But he also... he should have made it originally.
Yeah,
but
he really should have.
I'm also very happy that David Stern didn't pick like another guard. Like I hope he didn't put like Darren Williams into the All-Star game.
No.
It's usually you'll go guard for guard type thing, but
Probably.
Lopez deserved it. The league knew it too, that he should have been in before.
Oh, absolutely. And the Nets have been playing well until last night, but they were playing the Heat. My dad told me that the Nets were fighting with them for the first half, and then the Heat just took over.
LeBron James said
enough.
But honestly, that was because Reggie Evans opened his mouth before the game and said they're a better team.
That's what happens when you play a team like the Heat. You don't wake them up. You don't say anything stupid. You don't kiss their rings, per se, Rex Ryan to Bill Belichick, but you don't say something stupid like that. Gotta have some respect. I know
you gotta know who you're playing.
Yeah,
you're the Miami Heat. You're playing the Miami Heat. The
defending champions.
Don't put fuel on the fire.
Yeah, because they're always motivated, but there are nights that they will just mail it in because all right, we're the Miami Heat. We're really good. As long as we're in the playoffs, we're gonna make a run.
They're a team that knows that
they're good. Obviously,
they can just chill in the regular season. They're like the Spurs.
You can know the nights the Heat are screw it, whatever.
Oh, No question about it.
But that's very rare. But when they do have it, they had it a few weeks ago, and now they're going to be on the Miami Heat crazy run.
Interesting Kobe facts, by the way. When we're talking basketball.
Kobe.
First off, last night he got his 46th assist in 4 games.
Wow.
That is the career high for a 4-game span for him.
Wow, Kobe learning how to pass.
He also became last night a player who has with the most assists for a player with 30,000 points. Not one guy on that list of 30,000 points have over 5,700 assists.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Kobe actually passing the ball.
If I told you he had over 5,000 assists, what would you say?
No way. But
Played with Shaq.
Yeah, playing with Shaq for a while, and it's manageable for the amount of years he's been playing. So Kobe just gets a bad rap because of the ISO, but he did play part of the triangle system under Phil for all these years.
Basketball is about halfway through.
Yeah.
You got a team to look for the second half?
The thing is, it's about the big teams. It's whoever stays healthy, per se. Like, you're going to have the Heat, you're going to have the Knicks, you're going to have the teams like the Spurs and those teams who have been in the playoffs and playoff tested. It's really going to be come down of can the Clippers make that run? You could see they're starting to run out of gas a bit.
Oh, they haven't played with Chris Paul.
Yeah,
well, he's gotten hurt. He's having his Chris Paul missed 3-week session.
Yeah.
But the team you should look out for now.
The Nets have been doing well as well.
A team you could look out for now is Toronto. You can make an argument for.
Yeah.
With the acquisition of Rudy Gay.
Yeah.
Well, you got to think of the side of. You got to think Boston's out now.
Yeah. No, but they are. That's the thing.
Are you fire sailing in Boston?
No. With Boston, granted, Rondo is their best player, but you still have Kevin Garnett and you still have Paul Pierce, and they're gonna still play hard. They're still gonna find a way to make the playoffs one way or another this year. That's just my opinion.
You know what's interesting? You could end up with a Nick Net 2 versus 7. Nick Boston 2 versus 7 matchup.
Get some payback on that.
Boston.
Boston has our number.
Right. It is still Boston.
But then again, with Rondo, you're not going to get that random night where he scores 25 points with 20 assists.
Right. In a couple weeks, will be the All-Star game. I'm not exactly sure which weekend it is. But we will definitely give you guys our slam dunk contest, 3-point shootout.
Hopefully it's better this year. They've lost its luster the last few years because the big players are not doing anymore. And they gotta start doing those again. That was the whole point of watching it every year.
So we will give our predictions for you guys. And
that's our basketball for this week.
That was basketball, like Dan said. Nets are playing well. Let's go Knicks. Win the games you're supposed to win.
Yes.
That was Division 1.1 with Violence in Season. This is the Sndpodcast show on the Schmuck Sports Network. Steven here with Dan.
Hey guys, we're going to quickly wrap up the show in a moment. Once again, thank you for listening.
Just a couple reminders. Check out our Facebook page. Share our Facebook page.
Absolutely.
Also share the Twitter page and follow us on Twitter for updates. Also, we just added Instagram to us.
Yes. That was a good idea by me, right?
That was a good idea.
Yeah.
But one thing we want.
We want people who are going to the sporting events take pictures. It's not just me or Steve and my girlfriend.
And my girlfriend. We don't want just our pictures on there. We want you guys. Dan and I have tons of sports pictures from back in the day, so we will do Throwback Thursdays for all of you guys.
That was a random one today that I found.
What about mine with Cliff Lloyd?
Yeah. We should find our 2 with OC back in the day.
Shout out to Nicole, by the way, who goes to school in Tampa.
Yes.
She actually sent me a picture from the Tampa Bay Lightning game. She'll do that. She's a huge hockey fan. She will be sending me some game live photos from Tampa.
That's cool.
So I will post those. We will give you full credit. We have basically 3 ways you can send us the photos. Post them on Instagram, on your own Instagram, and tag at Sndpodcast show. Also, you can email us at the sndpodcast@gmail.com. Also, if you want to just send them to us, if you have our numbers, just send them right away. Actually, we have a 4th way. Also, you can tweet them to us if you want to. Or message us at the SND Podcast Show on Schmuck Sports Network on Facebook. So, really, there's 5 ways you can get them to us. Also, a quick shout-out. I know we thanked a lot of people last week. Thank you to everybody again.
Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
Division 1.1 again. They sent us some love this last week on our YouTube page. Thank you guys.
Also, Keith and Joe.
Of course.
And Josh and everybody who's working on the website.
You should be looking out. Steve's writing an article about hockey. I'm going to be probably writing an article about baseball soon enough.
We will soon be incorporating baseball into our show. Also, shout out to Gracie again for the logo. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Gracie.
And everybody who's just been helping out with the show. Kayla, that voice you hear at the end, who does the legal portion and the legal stuff for us. Thank you to her. Also, we set up, check out, if you have Skype, make sure you add us, SND Podcast on Skype. We're going to start slowly bringing on some guests. Keith will come on a couple times, talk about the site a little bit more, give you guys more of an idea of what's going on with the site, the future of it.
Maybe Joe as well.
A couple of friends of us. Maybe in a couple weeks we'll bring Matt back. We'll talk some Jet off season. Also, we can review everything. By next week, all the awards will be out. I'm actually going to post either tonight or tomorrow. Tonight's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. So check out the Instagram. Not the brackets, the award predictions out of us. I'm going to post that on there.
I don't even remember who I picked.
It's been a month.
Yeah.
So, thank you to everybody again. Hope you are enjoying our show. This is the S&D Podcast Show on the Schmuck Sports Network. Dan.
Adios.
Have a good one, guys.
S&D Podcast is in no way affiliated with, associated with, produced, or endorsed by the National Football League or any of its affiliates.